Hi everybody, my name is Cody Nightpan, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do the proper technique in order to perform a one-arm dumbbell snatch.
So with the one-arm dumbbell snatch, again, it's very important, as with all of these movements, to get yourself into the proper starting position at first. So again, with this dumbbell movement, you want to straddle the dumbbell on the floor, and you want to place your feet again between hip and shoulder width apart, and you want those toes to be slightly angled outward. And when you squat down, again, you want your hips to be lower than your shoulders. And you want to grasp the dumbbell with a closed, pronated grip, and the elbow is fully extended. Again, since this is a single arm dumbbell snatch, the arm that is not holding on to the dumbbell, you can hang it down to the side of your body. Some people like to put it behind them. It's just kind of a preference at that point. Some people feel like either way you go has some sort of balance, pros and cons. So just however you feel the movement best fits you. And again, you want to just make sure you're starting in this proper starting position. And again, there's a few movements or phases in this movement. You have that upward pull phase, where you begin the movement with the triple extension. So you forcefully extend those hips, knees, and ankles. And that dumbbell should slide up, and you want it to remain very close to your body as it's going upward. And that elbow that's holding on to the arm that's holding onto the dumbbell should remain extended as you go through that triple extension phase. As your lower body joints, fully extend those hips, knees, and ankles, you want to rapidly shrug that shoulder, the one arm holding the dumbbell, and that elbow, the elbow of the arm holding the dumbbell should be extended and pointing up, out to the side during the shrugging movement. During this upper movement, again, you want to continue to pull, and then your elbow will be flexing to pull it up. And through the top part of the movement, you begin that snatch portion of the movement. And again, that's where you go down into a quarter squat position with a dumbbell over you. And you should catch it in the squat position with your elbow extended, and you in the quarter squat position. And then you just extend your hips, your knees, and your ankles once more to complete the movement. And then that is how every movement is performed. And you start into the starting position to perform every repetition. And again, there's a lot of muscles and joints activated throughout this movement as well. Again, with that triple extension, that hip extension, with your glutes and your hamstrings, as well as that knee extension with your quad muscles, the ankle plantar flexion with the calf muscles, and as well as your shoulder flexion and the catch phase with the anterior middle deltoids. And then again, during that pulling upward movement phase, your traps and your lats are activated for that scapular elevation. And again, during the concentric portion, with the prime movers, that triceps brachii is activated during that elbow extension. And some synergists, again, you always have that gluteus medius and minimus with that hip extension, the posterior deltoids, as well as your biceps brachii, brachialis, brachioradialis, and as well as that core is extremely activated throughout the movement and helps stabilize as well. Again, for an individual maybe who couldn't get down to the starting position, who has some kind of range of motion issue, again, you can just start holding the dumbbell standing straight up, and you can kind of dip down a little bit like you would perform the hang power clean or the hang power snatch movement, and just get the dumbbell slightly below your knees, and then just perform the movement as you would. You're just limiting that starting position phase for an individual who maybe can't get down properly and squat down properly. So there are some alternatives as well as you can also, some people can perform a kettlebell snatch. This is more advanced from the dumbbell snatch. So for maybe some more well-off athletes, they can perform the kettlebell snatch. So that's another alternative to a dumbbell snatch as well. And again, this does not require a spot since it is a very high velocity movement. Again, having individuals nearby is always recommended. and should be done if possible. And as with this movement, every movement performed so far has been a bilateral movement, which you're using both sides at one time of your body. But this dumbbell snatch is a unilateral movement, which means that you're really using one side of your body. So in this, I'm using my right arm, and my left arm is just kind of hanging there free, and you're alternating each movement. So it helps athletes, as far as sports carryover, increase their power and explosiveness, help athletes improve performance in areas that can translate directly to the court, field, or mat. So whatever sport that this athlete would perform. Again, that this triple extension, throughout the lockout phase, really increases your explosiveness as well. So I know this movement may look like primarily like an upper body movement, but again, you're really using your lower body as well, especially during that catch phase, that initial pull phase. So it is a full body movement. So as daily life carryover, again, increases the upper or lower body power. And for any job that could require you have to lift something over your head in a high velocity fashion, performing something like this is always beneficial for them, and as well as just reducing sarcopenia, or that age-related muscle loss with type 2 muscle fibers over time. So this helps out tremendously within those aspects.